I'm conjoint Professor Mike Hazelton. I'm also a Unisearch expert in the area of mental health. And I've been asked to say a few words about mental health as it relates to the law. So a good place to start would be with what we know about the extent to which people are likely to experience mental ill health. So we have pretty good statistics in Australia that have been built up over several decades. And what they tell us is that at any point in time, about 1 in 5 adult Australians will experience some form of mental ill health, whether they know it or not. Not everyone for whom that is the case will necessarily know that what they're experiencing is some form of mental ill health. In other words, they've not had it assessed by a health professional, but nevertheless, they're experiencing the symptoms. We also know that for younger adults, so those up to about age 25, it's 1 in 4, so they're more at risk. We know that in the course of our lifetime, all of us have about a 1 in 2 chance of developing some form of mental ill health. And unfortunately, we also know from the work that's been done in the last few decades in Australia that only about 1 in every 3 of us who have a mental health problem will seek any kind of professional help for it. So there's a very large number of people in our community and indeed in our workplaces who are living with some form of mental ill health. It's very likely impacting on the way they live their lives, the way they undertake their work, the way they conduct themselves at work and work with work colleagues and clients. They don't necessarily know that it's mental ill health, but nevertheless, it's having an impact. These impacts can be really quite significant at the level of the individual. So, negative consequences for individuals, but of course, in terms of work productivity, lost productivity, these losses nowadays are actually calculated in the billions of dollars in terms of monetary equivalents. So that's the normal state of play, if you like, leading up, say, to 2020. And then along comes a global pandemic, which experts feel is very, very likely to amplify and intensify the kind of situation that we've been working with now for some time. Just exactly what the extent of the impact's going to be in the coming years and decades is hard to calculate, but every expert that I'm aware of considers it's going to be really very, very significant and could go on for years.